The air in the observation deck of the Starship Erebus was thick with the tension of anticipation. Outside the reinforced transparent walls, the cosmos stretched endlessly, a tapestry of stars, nebulae, and distant galaxies, each one a silent witness to the human crew's mission. Captain Elias Rourke leaned against the railing, eyes narrowed at the shifting colors of a nearby ion storm. He had seen many strange things in his career, but nothing could have prepared him for the encounter that was about to change the course of his life. The shuttle doors hissed open, and in strode the alien woman. Her name was Lyra, though the crew had long stopped trying to pronounce it correctly. She moved with an otherworldly grace, her translucent skin shimmering faintly under the artificial lights, her elongated limbs seemingly too delicate to survive the vacuum of space. Her eyes, a luminous violet, scanned the room with intelligence and wariness, as though she could perceive the thoughts of every human present. Lyra was the first of her kind to make contact with humanity. Her species, the Ilari, were rumored to be nearly invincible, possessing the ability to manipulate energy in ways humans had only theorized. Yet here she was, standing in a confined metal room, far from the safety of her own star system. "Welcome aboard, Lyra," Elias said, trying to keep his voice steady. He had briefed the crew to maintain professional distance, but even the most stoic among them couldn't hide the awe in their expressions. "We hope your journey here was peaceful." Lyra's lips moved, and though her voice was melodious, it carried a tone unfamiliar to human ears. The translators hummed to life, decoding her words with a slight lag. "Peaceful is relative," she said, her gaze shifting to the stars. "Your universe is chaotic. I came because of the disturbance at Sector 992. It is significant." Elias frowned. "You're referring to the anomaly in the Andromeda cluster?" Lyra nodded, stepping closer to the holographic map projected from the table. Her fingers brushed the light with precision, sending ripples of energy across the projections. "It is not natural. Something is awakening. And your kind is involved." Before Elias could respond, the room's alarms blared. A deep rumble shook the ship as the Erebus was suddenly pulled toward a gravitational source not detected in any recent scans. The crew scrambled to their stations, and Lyra floated toward the navigation console, her eyes glowing brighter. "It's not just a gravitational pull," she warned. "It is a call, a summoning. Something ancient wants you." The ship's engines strained against the invisible force, energy shields flickering under pressure. The crew worked frantically to stabilize the vessel, but the Anomaly's pull was relentless. Elias grabbed Lyra's arm instinctively. "We need to get you to safety." Instead of recoiling, she stared at him, a mixture of trust and urgency in her eyes. "No," she whispered. "I must speak. They will listen, if I reach them." Elias hesitated. He had been trained to follow protocol, to evacuate all non-essential personnel during critical events. Yet something in her tone, a subtle authority beyond her words, made him pause. "Then speak quickly," he said. Lyra extended her hands, and a brilliant beam of light erupted from her palms, enveloping the ship in a protective energy field. The crew shielded their eyes, and when they looked again, the deck was quiet, the Anomaly's pull temporarily held at bay. Lyra's voice carried in their minds now, bypassing the translators. "You seek power," she said, addressing the unseen force. "You seek to awaken the One. You will fail." A growl, deep and resonant, echoed through the hull. The very walls vibrated with its intensity. The energy field flickered, and Lyra's glow intensified. She was not merely speaking. She was challenging something beyond comprehension. Elias watched mesmerized. Then something unexpected happened. Lyra's eyes widened and her lips parted, but no sound came out. Her hands trembled and she clutched at her throat. It was as if the very act of speaking had been blocked by an invisible barrier. "What's wrong?" Elias demanded, stepping forward. Lyra's voice in that moment was reduced to a faint whisper. It knows my name." Before anyone could process the implication, a simple word echoed through the room. It was a word so small, so mundane, yet it carried a weight that shook the alien woman to her core. She froze, her eyes wide with shock. Her voice, her powers, her presence, all of it was rendered powerless by that single utterance. "Elias," she managed to say, her lips barely moving. The captain froze. It was not her name she spoke, but his. Somehow, the anomaly, or whatever intelligence they were confronting, had discovered a vulnerability in Lyra. It was not physical, not even technological. It was personal, human. Elias took a deep breath, heart pounding. "Lyra, you have to fight it. You can't let it control you." She shook her head slowly, struggling to form words. "It is not control. It listens, obeys my fear." Fear. The word hung heavy in the air, though neither Elias nor the crew spoke it. They had seen beings of incredible power brought low not by strength but by something intangible. Lyra, the almost invincible Ilari, was silenced by the realization of her own vulnerability. Elias stepped closer, placing a hand on her arm. "Then let me help you," he said. "Trust me." Her eyes met his, and for the first time, there was a hint of human emotion in her alien gaze. Desperation, uncertainty, trust. She nodded slightly, allowing him to guide her to the center of the room. "You must focus," Elias said, voice firm but calm. "Not on fear. On your allies. On what you want to protect." Lyra closed her eyes. The glow around her dimmed, flickered, then surged again, this time steady, controlled. She exhaled slowly, a sound that carried both relief and determination. The energy field strengthened, radiating outward, repelling the anomaly's pull. "You are strong," Elias said softly, almost to himself. The word that had silenced her lost its power as she embraced the presence of someone who believed in her. Slowly, she began to speak again, this time with authority. The sound of her voice, when it returned, resonated through the ship like a song of light and energy. "The One will not awaken," she declared. "Not while we stand together." The anomaly, whatever it was, roared in defiance. The starship shuddered, systems straining, but Lyra's energy field held. With a final surge, she directed a concentrated beam of luminescence at the center of the gravitational distortion. The storm collapsed inward, dissipating into the void. The crew staggered back, exhausted but unharmed. The observation deck was silent except for the hum of the ship's engines and the faint residual glow from Lyra. Elias approached her cautiously. "You did it," he said, awe-stricken. Lyra's violet eyes softened. "We did it," she corrected. "Not alone. Strength comes from connection, not from power alone." The captain nodded slowly, understanding now what the anomaly had tried to teach them. The universe was vast and incomprehensible, filled with beings and forces beyond imagination. Yet even the most powerful entities had weaknesses, and often those weaknesses were not in their strength but in their isolation. Lyra looked at him, her expression unreadable yet deeply human in its sincerity. "Remember this, Elias Rourke. Even the mightiest can be silenced by a simple word. But a heart that trusts and a mind that chooses courage can speak louder than any force." Elias felt a strange warmth in his chest, a mixture of respect, wonder, and something unnameable that bridged the gap between human and alien. He realized then that this encounter was not just a battle against a cosmic threat. It was a lesson in vulnerability, trust, and unity. For the rest of the journey, Lyra remained on the Erebus, teaching the crew about her species, about energy manipulation, and about the subtle powers that governed life across galaxies. But she never forgot the word that had silenced her, nor the human who had helped her find her voice again. In the end, the anomaly in Sector 992 remained a mystery, its origin unknown, its intentions forever hidden. Yet for Elias and his crew, the encounter became a defining moment, a reminder that even in a universe teeming with unimaginable power, the simplest human truths, courage, trust, and connection, could withstand forces beyond comprehension. Lyra never spoke of fear again. Not because she had forgotten it, but because she had learned that some words could silence even the most extraordinary beings. Yet the bonds forged in trust and shared struggle could amplify a voice far beyond what anyone thought possible. And in that silence, Elias understood that the universe, vast and infinite, was not just a place of stars and storms, but of lessons, quietly waiting for those brave enough to listen.